Hey everyone, my name is Bindi Horde, and I wanted to share with you my review on the 8-week program Hammer and Chisel that I just completed yesterday. But first, I want to tell you a little story about me and a little background leading up to Hammer and Chisel and why I picked Hammer and Chisel. Today, January 28th, actually is my 4-year anniversary from when I committed to starting this journey. I found my coach online through Facebook and purchased P90X in Shakeology. My coach gave me the tools to believe in myself and stay on this journey and prompted me to join her in helping other people. As we worked together and as she guided me, we became best friends. Our families became close. We spent lots of time together, even though I live in Texas and she lives in Miami. And that's the value of a coach. And as time progressed, I became this person I always aspired to be, I could say, but I never thought I could ever be that person. I never thought that I deserved it, but she helped me, and being part of the Team Beachbody community helped me. I was just moving up, 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 up at a fast rate, mentally, emotionally, success wise in the business. And you know what? Life got to me. I started cruising in 2014. I stopped doing all the things that were really important and vital and crucial to my success and to my mental and emotional well being. And, I started going backwards, old habits, and a lot of things came up that affected me with um, my emotions and mental state because I do suffer from mental illness. And so I was, you know, literally at rock bottom. 2015 was the worst time of my life. My coach stayed in contact with me, but in September is when I really knew I needed to take control of my life and my health. I was at the heaviest I'd ever been, not pregnant, and I've had 3 children. And so my coach, helped me get back on track again. And it was very difficult because I was so mad at myself for starting over. But I realized that, you know what? I'm not a quitter. I'm not a failure. I'm getting back on track. I've done it before once. I can do it again. And I can do it better now, learning from the mistakes from the past. So I knew that I wanted to do Hammer and Chisel because her results inspired me. She was chosen to be part of the test group. And that was a group of people that were all coaches that were picked to try out Hammer and Chisel before it was actually launched out to the public to kind of get feedback to make any adjustments. And I was in a test group myself for PiYo back in 2014. So she had that honor. And when I saw her results, I was like, wow, I want those. And she was so excited about it that I got excited about it. At that point in time, in September, I was nowhere ready for Hammer and Chisel, but I knew that I had enough time to get ready. And starting to get ready is better than never or just waiting till that date. So I started my journey using the Beachbody On Demand workouts, using Body Beast, 21 Day Fix Extreme, and the sneak peeks of Masters Hammer and Chisel. And I used those because I felt that those were the closest things to Hammer and Chisel to get me ready and prepared for the launch of Hammer and Chisel on December 1st. I worked my butt off. I drank Shakeology every day. I followed the 21 Day Fix Extreme meal plan. I made sure I ate on point, and by the end of October, I made the decision to cut alcohol out of my life because I had realized that had a lot to do with the lack of results and lack of consistency that I had when it came to my health and fitness in 2015. And I sat there and thought, my goals are still the same here in 2015 as they were when I first met my coach in 2012. And so I decided I was going to stop settling for a little bit above average. I was going to stop settling for just maintain, your weight loss, Mindy. I decided I'm going to go for the extraordinary. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to go for what I've been chasing after this whole time. So I got prepared and I felt great as I went forward. Every week went by. I had all my workouts written out. I checked them off. I was excited. I was so excited for Hammer and Chisel to launch that I was, one of the first people to buy it on December 1st. Well, we had the problem of that we didn't have the DVDs of the program. But within about 24 hours later, all of this was available on Beachbody On Demand. So I got started right away on Wednesday night. I didn't want to wait any longer or waste any more time because I had been waiting for this program and this moment. And I was so excited. So I got started right away. But I was leery because you have to understand, I was 156 pounds, like 2.5 months before that. And I was so focused on that. I wanted to get back down to the 130s because that's where I felt comfortable. And so I was advised by my coach, based on what all of the women in the test group who actually were smaller than me and less muscular build than me, what they were doing, they were eating at a higher calorie bracket. And my coach advised me to do that because she knew that I had already lost about, I think, 11 pounds at that point, and I had built a pretty good base for my fitness preparing for this, and I didn't listen to her. I went with the lowest calorie bracket, and it was hard because I was starving. I was, feeling fatigued, and so I finally listened to her and went to plan B. And then there would be the days that I would doubt myself, and I would get on the scale and be hard on myself, and then I would go down to the plan A thinking that was it. And finally, I just decided I'm going to throw the scale out of the equation because I knew by my clothes that I was losing inches. And I knew that losing fat was so much more important than any number on the scale. So I ended up, it was about 2.5 weeks at the end of the program that I did not weigh myself. I'm going to tell you, I did not physically move it or hide it. I was right where it was, but I told myself and committed to myself that I would not stand on it. I would not cheat. I would not do that because I knew that that was messing with my head. And so I just stayed faithful to the plan. I stayed faithful and I trusted in the process. And when I got on the scale this morning, the day after I finished, because yesterday I did the very last workout, much to my surprise, I was at the 130s. I was 139.4. I lost a total of 5 pounds doing hammer and chisel. I lost 5 pounds in 56 days and working out 6 days a week, taking the rest day. And that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I lost 11 inches. And I'm proud to say that since I recommitted in September to now, I have lost 16.5 pounds and 17 inches and over 7% of my body fat. Just in the 8 weeks alone with a hammer and chisel, I lost 3% of my body fat, which was amazing because my friend who's a trainer who does all of my body fat measurements, and he's a bodybuilder, he was saying that, this is amazing because you really haven't lost a lot of weight. You have just been losing literally 5 pounds of fat. And that, equated to 3% of your body fat. He was like, people lose, lots of weight all the time. And, we see this all the time. And they're losing muscle at the same time, especially if their diet is, carb deficient and they're not eating correct. And so, whenever he did my body fat test yesterday, because he did it on day 1, day 30, and day 60, just like he did when I was in the PiYo test group. He was like, he knew what my goal was. Because in my head, I said, I lost 5% of my body fat when I was doing PiYo. So naturally, I thought that 5% of my body fat was a lot, it was realistic. And so, he said, you're not going to like the numbers. And I said, why? He's like, the total amount of fat that you lost is 3.1%. He's like, that is good. You honestly don't want to lose any more than that, with what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. And I was frustrated at first, but he got me to see the big picture. So you see, when I was doing PiYo, I had been very inconsistent. The PiYo is designed to help you with your balance, your flexibility, your mobility, to help you lean out, get really toned, sexy toned arms and legs. And I was at the leanest that I ever looked. But at the same time, I did have muscles and I was toned, but I lost 5% of my body fat because the goal was to lose weight. And at the same time, I also lost 13 pounds. But the program was designed differently. I started off at a different weight. I, was going for weight loss. Now, when I went into hammer and chisel, I was really at a pretty good weight considering how much muscle I put on in the 2.5 months before actually starting. And that the goal for hammer and chisel was to build muscle and to cut fat. And so I, had to get that out of my head and just absorb it because people get so caught up in calories and so caught up in, just counting calories instead of, focusing on nutrients. And people also get so caught up in the number on the scale instead of the bigger picture. The bigger picture is I went down 4 pant size. I'm wearing a size 25, which I haven't worn since before I had children. So that number on the scale doesn't mean anything. I finished a whole program from day one to the end with my husband, and we didn't drink alcohol, and we did our best to follow the meal plan. I would say for me, I would say 95% of the time I was on the meal plan. I was very diligent at sticking to that. So I'm proud of that. I have shared my journey along the way, and I feel better about myself. I feel, my every part of my body is firm instead of jiggly. My stomach still got some jiggle. That's, just due to having 3 kids, and I still have fat on my body to burn. So I decided that I'm going to be happy with that. And there's something that I don't understand, but I wanted to share with you that my friend Brent, who is a bodybuilder, was sharing with me. Because you see, as coaches, so many people don't want to become coaches because they think that they have to be experts. I became a coach because I can help people, and I don't have to be an expert. All you have to do is literally follow the plan. You open up a box, you take your DVDs out, you open up a calendar, you put the DVD in on the day that, the calendar says, you read the book, figure out how many calories you need to have for their goals. You eat those, and you use the containers for 21-day fixes. It's simple. So as a coach, you don't have to know anything. You don't have to, understand this, and that's what I love about it. Is I can still help people. I've helped people lose the same amount of weight that other trainers have helped people lose. I just do it in a different way. But the one thing is, when I was feeling discouraged, Brent helped me. So he looked at all my numbers, all the calculations, all my inches that lost over the period of time, my weight that was lost, and the body fat that was lost, and he said that he was going to calculate my BMR. I am not familiar with that. One of my best friends who's on my team, she said that she's familiar with that because she used to work for a weight loss doctor. I don't know that. So, and I don't necessarily care to know that. It was encouraging to me, but for all you people out there who do understand this, I want to read to you what he told me, because I can't try to make sense of it on my own because I don't fully understand it. One day maybe I will. But he said he needed to calculate my BMR. And I naturally said, what is a BMR? And he said, a basal metabolic rate. And he gave me some numbers: 1448, 1413, 1488, 1482, 1492. Literally, I don't even know what that meant. But so I asked him, are those numbers good? He said, yes, that's the amount of calories your body uses at rest. That number's good, and it's good because you've increased it while getting leaner. So then I was thinking, yeah, you're right. The fact that I have lost 3% of my body fat and I upped my calorie bracket by several hundred calories, and I'm more muscular, that makes sense. The goals were different. So I can't compare my results to PiYo because it's, number one, not the same type of program. I wasn't going for the same thing. I didn't start off at the same weight, and I wasn't in the same shape prior to starting. So basically, what Brent said, he said the problem with yo-yo dieters is that they lose weight and their metabolic rate decreases. Even dieting for a show, meaning, bodybuilders or competitors, metabolic rates decrease. That's why they need an off season, so that they can keep the dieting. So, like he said, he hears people saying all the time that they lost 10 pounds in a week, and they're excited because they see these big numbers. But really, when you're doing that and you're not doing it at the right progression, and you're not losing body fat at the same time, you're basically, like you said, it's not good because you have less muscle then, which means it'll be harder to keep the weight off when you gain it back, and it'll be even harder to lose it the next time. And he said if you weighed 120 and had the 18% body fat, your BMR would be about 155 calories less. He's like, which is about a cup of rice a day. He said, so being at 140, 18% is more of a fun place to be. Maintaining body weight while losing body fat is better than losing a lot of weight to lose a lot of body fat. He said, your results are encouraging. If we're talking about you eventually going on stage, the furnace that's your metabolism is still willing to burn more fat and food you consume. If the furnace was barely going, I'd be discouraged, or if you were around the weight you needed to be, yet not lean enough. So I thought, okay, he has, degrees in kinesiology. He has been bodybuilding for, over a decade. He works with clients. He obviously knows this stuff. So I'm, thought, okay, obviously it's good. So I decided that I'm just going to keep going on. But I have a few things that I wanted to share that I think might be helpful to people who are starting off or halfway through or done, or is that for me, I felt kind of discouraged about my results, but I had to look at the bigger picture. So I ask you to look at the bigger picture. Like he said, your V shape is very tapered. He was like, you look wider in the back, in the shoulders, and more muscular than you do from the front. He was like, you've got a great shape. He was like, you're cutting fat. He was like, at the right process. And, my husband said, yes, you're definitely leaner, So we're oftentimes more critical of ourselves. But I realized that to get better results, I'm going to do a few different things. Number one, I decided to go up to calorie bracket C because of what Brent was telling me later on in the conversation and what I know Autumn does on competition, and just based on my body and the way I'm built, because everybody's different and you kind of have to sometimes figure it out on the way what works better for you, because no two bodies are the same, no two metabolisms are the same, no two muscle structures the same on, everybody is different. But I've decided that I'm going to give it another go, doing another round, but making a few adjustments, which is eating at the calorie bracket C the whole time, instead of starting off with B and then moving to C, but all the time C. Obviously, if I start to gain weight, then and I have my body fat checked in 30 days and I haven't lowered my body fat, then there's something wrong. Number two, my husband and I did the workout together, and I have zero regrets about that because it helped us stay on track. We had fun. We showed other couples you can do it. But for us, I feel that I could have gotten better results if I had been doing it alone, or if we had had a set of two. So many times there was times that we'd have to stop, pause it, rewind it, get him on the bench, push play, then, get the bench out of the way, and then take turns. And so those things, the way hammer and chisel works, you're moving really fast, picking weights up, putting them down, doing whatever move it is, and that keeps your heart rate going and keeps that steady, your heart rate at a steady calorie burn level. And so for me, I feel that I could have gotten better results if I had not had to keep stopping and pausing and waiting and switching. And my husband agreed the same way. So that's the other change I'm going to do on month 2. And also, I was using the Beachbody Recovery supplements from our new line of Beachbody Performance. I was in the test group for that, and I did it when I did my first round of 21 Day Fix Extreme. Had amazing results. When I started back in September, getting back on track, I was using them religiously. Well, I was so used to working out consistently every day for 2.5 months. I stopped using them because I'm like, I'm not sore. But I feel that all the test group participants use this, and that's what helped them with their muscle recovery and their muscle growth with all natural products. So I've committed to doing another round. It's going to be a little screwy because we're going on a cruise in March, so I'm going to have to work around that. But at least for the first 30 days, I know that I'm going to be home, and I'm going to do the first month just like I started, all on my own, eating at Plan C and using all the supplements except for creatine religiously to see how my results are, because I think that that's going to change things. And for me too, I know the program now. The first month of any program, you don't know the moves, you're not familiar with it, and so that is a big factor in there. So now I know the moves, I know how to do things, so there's going to be less time sitting there going, oh my god, looking up at the screen, what do I do, or oh, that wasn't right. So that's going to help me because my form is going to be a lot better, and my strength is up. And I realized too that month 2 I was going really heavy on the weights, and I was pushing myself hard, but it was really, really hard. So then I started kind of scaling back and not pushing myself as hard as the first month. And so there's these things that you learn. And so for me, I'm not going to give up. I want to keep going. I want those 6 packs. I want to get down to 10% body fat by the end of the year. That's my goal. So I'm not going to give up. And I've changed my whole mindset. And honestly, I owe it to the fact that my coach didn't give up on me, and that we had hammer and chisel to look forward to. That was my goal in sight, was hammer and chisel, get prepared for hammer and chisel, finish it, do it well, make your coach proud, make everybody on your team proud, make yourself proud, do it, and so I want to keep that momentum going. I want to keep doing that. And so one thing is, really, it was very standard. Anytime I would finish a program, I would always celebrate with beer or like we're going to go out to eat because I made it through, and I would sabotage the results I had. And when I got on that scale this morning, I was so thrilled that it said 139. I was like doing a dance saying, I'm so glad that I'm even closer to 138 than to 140. And, it is ridiculous, but it excited me. And then I thought, you know what? I'm proud of myself. I did all of these things. I ate by all of the proof foods. I wasn't, cheating the system. I wasn't cheating on my lifestyle, diet. And so why would I change anything now? Why would I be like, I finished this and have great results, finally got the weight that I'm at, and then go and be like, let's go eat some sodium-laden food at a restaurant, and when I have tons of healthy foods that I cook and that I enjoy here. So you know what I did today? I took a rest day because I needed rest. I had a lot of stuff going on at the house, and your body, that's when your muscles really recover, is when you take a rest day and when you sleep at night. So I decided to take a rest day, and I decided that I wasn't going to reward myself with food like a dog. I wasn't going to reward myself with anything that was outside of the plan like I normally would do, because this year I want to be the exact opposite of 2015. So anything that felt natural or out of habit, I am doing the exact opposite so that I make sure I don't go back and have a repeat of 2015. And so far, that mentality of that I'm going to do opposite of what feels natural and I'm going to do opposite of what I did is working for me, and I feel amazing. So I decided to just keep eating what I normally eat. And I felt great. I feel good about myself. I looked in the mirror a few minutes ago and I can still see my ab lines just like I could this morning. So I don't have any of that guilt or that shame or, oh, I wish I hadn't have eaten this. And so tomorrow I can start again on another round, and I can get on that scale tomorrow and see that it says 139 instead of going up like it would have if I had went out and ate at a restaurant to celebrate my success. So I just wanted to share that with you. And more than anything, for the ladies out there, please understand that this program, you need to change your mindset about fitness, exercise, weight loss, because I really consider this program a program that is about fat loss instead of weight loss. So when you're starting this program, or if you've already started it, scratch out any goal you have for a weight. Don't think I want to get to my ideal weight with this, or don't say I want to get to a certain my or lose 10 pounds in this time period. Go with, I want to get to this size clothing, or I want to lose this many inches off of my waist. Go by those things. Get your body fat tested and see where you're at and set a goal and do it that way, because really if you focus on the weight, you're going to get discouraged doing this program, because I even saw with the test group participants, most of them had around, the 5-pound weight loss. And you think, oh my God, 60 days, you only lost 5 pounds. But that really is a good rate, especially if you're doing the right thing and eating the right thing. You're losing fat and not and building muscle at the same time. So I just want to remind you that this program is designed to get you great results, but every body and every metabolism and everybody's results are different. But really, this is a fat loss program and not a weight loss program. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope that my story and my results and what I was sharing with you about this helped. If you have any questions, again, let me know. Thank you.